This is your ultimate guide for seeing the remaining total solar eclipses of the 2020s. A total solar eclipse will only happen to pass over where you are right now once roughly every 375 years. So if you want to see an eclipse, you have to chase it. And this is your travel guide. There are 3 total solar eclipses happening over the rest of the 2020s, but knowing where to go to watch them is not as simple as just dropping a pin on a map. There are practical and astronomical things you have to take into account if you want to have the best shot of seeing one of these amazing cosmic events. The next total solar eclipse will be on August 12th, 2026. It's going to begin in Russia, sweep near the North Pole, and then pass over Greenland, Iceland, and Spain. That zone is the path of totality. If you're not there when the eclipse happens, the moon won't completely cover the sun from your perspective, so you'll only end up seeing a partial solar eclipse at most. This might be the number 1 rule of eclipse chasing. You have to go somewhere inside that narrow path of totality. If even just 1% of the sun isn't completely blocked by the moon, the sky will appear 10,000 times brighter than it would have in the path of totality. You'll miss out on a lot of breathtaking spectacles, like being able to look at the sun with your naked eye and see its outer atmosphere, or witnessing stars and planets come out during the daytime, or being surrounded by a 360-degree sunset. So being in the path of totality matters. But it also only narrows things down so much. Within this zone, and there are a lot of different places you might watch this eclipse from. So how do you decide? One question to think about is what the sky will be like wherever you're headed. For example, when this eclipse is happening in August, Iceland tends to be cloudy more than half the time, so it probably wouldn't be the best place for looking up at the sky. Spain tends to be much sunnier, but even then, your view would depend where exactly you are in Spain. You wouldn't want to be in a valley there, but somewhere with a clear view of the sky all around you, like the top of a hill or a huge open field. You can actually look up where exactly in the sky the eclipse will be at your observing site and then plan accordingly. For instance, when this eclipse passes over Spain, it's going to be low to the horizon in the west, so you might get a good view of it from a beach on this side of the country, but maybe not a good view from somewhere on the other side of a mountain. Unless you already live in one of these countries though, you're probably better off waiting until the second upcoming eclipse on August 2nd, 2027, because it's going to last nearly 3 times as long as the one before it. While this eclipse is only going to clock in about 2 minutes of totality at most, this eclipse in 2027 will last closer to 7 minutes, which is pretty much the longest a total solar eclipse can be. This eclipse has other things going for it too. It's going to pass from Spain through Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, and Somalia, which means the path of totality is going through places that are major travel destinations in themselves, like the Straits of Gibraltar or the beaches of Tripoli. Imagine seeing a total solar eclipse over ancient Egyptian ruins. Which brings us to another important thing to think about when chasing an eclipse: crowds or solitude, city or nature. Watching a total solar eclipse from a city does have something to it. Normally, you have to leave a city to experience the wonder of the night sky without light pollution. But with an eclipse, the natural night sky comes to you. During totality, you can directly feel that you are on a planet in space, and that feeling would be all the more surreal if you're surrounded by really human things like huge skyscrapers or ancient temples. On the other hand, so many people can descend on a city to watch an eclipse that it can make it really hard to get around or do anything. That's also why if you want to hedge your eclipse bets, going somewhere that's well connected with lots of different roads and good condition helps keep your eclipse plans flexible. There's also one other option besides city or countryside: the ocean. That is where the third and last total solar eclipse of the decade is mostly going to pass. It'll be on July 22nd, 2028 and have a maximum duration of about 5 minutes. This eclipse will begin over ocean, go over Australia and New Zealand, and then end over ocean. Thankfully, there are good reasons to watch an eclipse from water. There's no traffic in the middle of the ocean. The sky is completely open, and because there's nothing but flat water for a long way around, you can actually see the shadow of the moon race across the waves toward you as totality begins. Plus, once you start thinking about getting off of land, your location options get really broad. I mean, in general, eclipses happen mostly over ocean. Both of the next 2 total solar eclipses after this one are almost entirely over water. There is one downside though. Since boats rock and sway in the waves, you almost certainly won't be able to use telescopes or binoculars to look at the sun during totality and see its details up close, unless you're in almost perfectly still water. Now, if you want to learn more about total solar eclipses and other kinds of eclipses too, we've written a full guide linked in the description. There's a lot of beautiful astronomy going on during eclipse that knowing about can make the experience even richer. And there's also incredible sights to discover with lunar eclipses and partial solar eclipses, which are a lot more common. To recap, we've got 3 total solar eclipses, a short one in 2026 going through the Arctic and the edge of Europe, a long one in 2027 sweeping across parts of Africa and the Middle East, and a medium one in 2028 mostly passing over the ocean. Where exactly you go to catch one of these eclipses depends on what kind of experience you're looking for, but at the very least, you should try to go somewhere with a good chance of clear skies, an open view, and the ability to move around for any last-minute changes. It'll take careful planning to be in the right place at the right time to see a total solar eclipse. But when you do, it'll be worth the effort.